Good morning. This is William McKissock with Schooley Mitchell, your expense reduction specialist. And I do want to highlight, like I do normally now, is that this is not my day job. We are not a marketing company. We're an expense reduction company, but we're trying to help businesses get some promotion, especially through the COVID crisis and moving forward, promoting local businesses. And this morning, I have with me Matthew Schwab. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, William. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you? A little bit about Matthew. Matthew is the inner Voyager. He is a strategic mentorship and agile leadership advisor. So Matthew, tell me a little bit about your background and who you are.
So I was a captain in the Merchant Marine. I sailed in the Merchant Marine for 20 years. I have an extensive leadership background. And I found through my travels around the world that I had a passion and a gift for connecting deeply and empathetically with people. And in doing that, it was able for them to open areas of their lives where they were kind of disconnected or had blocks or limitations. And we'd talk about that, and then it would end up transforming their lives and bringing forth opportunity for themselves in areas where they never thought possible, and them doing things that they never thought possible. So with COVID, as it would be, things aligned, and life pushed me into this direction, and the Inner Voyager was created.
Okay, so it really is about helping people. So tell me a little bit more about the Inner Voyager. What is the Inner Voyager? Who is the Inner Voyager? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that for me, please?
Yeah, sure. So we all have these stories and these experiences that we have from our past, and oftentimes we carry them into our present and allow them to define our future. So essentially, I take all these pieces that are kind of disjointed, or the limitations of the limiting thoughts, beliefs, or feelings we have about ourselves that form into our actions. So really, I take those disjointed pieces and we understand why they are here in our life, and we create a new story around them, and that attracts greater success in our personal lives, and that extends out to our business success and business relationships as well. So it's really taking a holistic picture of life and removing the limitations in order to achieve greater success.
Yeah, I mean, I personally get where you're coming from, because if it's kind of like thoughts are things. What you think about is what kind of develops in your life, and
Yep.
to have someone like you to help you kind of like aim your thoughts in the right direction, or gear them to the right place is a fantastic tool to have.
Yeah.
So who's a typical client, and why do you normally speak to clients? Can I elaborate on that for me a little bit, please?
So my ideal client is an established, active, and driven C-level executive. And the reason why I chose that is because they have such an impact on such a mass amount of people, that if we could start to shift the thoughts, the beliefs, and the feelings surrounding the words we use and the actions we take in life, then that person affects the change of everybody underneath him or her. And then I offer group workshops for corporate environments as well, with like change management and cultural shifts. So if you can change the mindset of the people who are under the CEO, now you've hit it from the top and you've hit it from the bottom, and everybody meets in the middle in this new way of being and interacting with each other. And literally, we start to attract more success to ourselves instead of having to claw and grip, our way to the top.
Fantastic, because from a strategic level, success always comes from the top. Well, the culture comes from the top. So how the CEO of a company behaves in his C-level board certainly affects everybody in an organization. So that's fantastic that you've thought to go to the top of the tree and where the information filters down. That's fantastic. So can you share some successes with me? What does success look like? Can you elaborate again on a little bit more about that part?
Yeah, sure. I keep confidentiality with all my clients, so I'll just speak in generality.
Yes.
I had a C-level executive that wanted to attract a relationship into his life, and we found that he was having blocks in his business, and we found a correlation between that and his lack of relationship for a lifelong partner, and a correlation to how he grew up. So once we connected those dots, we were able to understand why that situation happened initially, what he can learn from it. And then once we did that and kind of told ourselves a different story around it, next thing you know, 2 weeks later, the woman he wanted dropped into his life, and they're happily married now. Another one was a company wanted to shift into a different direction. because they felt like they were kind of in a box. So I was working with one of their C-level executives and helped him shift some mindset from things that happened in his past. It went back down to like when he was a child. We were able to redefine the story in that and restructure the way he thought about it, the way he believed he thought about it, and most importantly, the way he felt about it, because that's the huge part of this. Is how we feel about certain things. So if we feel life is going to be like a struggle, then it's going to be a struggle. So it's all about the feeling, and that's what attracts more success. So he was able to take his company in a different direction, one that he never even thought was possible.
Yeah, I understand that thinking as well, because I read a book. It's called "I Can Make You Rich." And in that book, it talks about exactly what you're talking about, helping people with that if you think you're only worth a certain amount from a young age, you're thinking, okay, I may be from a working class background and I'm only worth 30 grand a year. You will only be worth 30 grand a year. So I completely understand that thought process.
Yeah, that's a 1939 copy of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it's an amazing book, considered the Bible in terms of business success. And there's been so many books written off of that, and yeah, that was one of them. So it's an amazing concept and a new way of thinking and being in life.
Yeah, for me, it's the way everybody should think, because when you showed me that book there, it's funny that I read the book called Thoughts Are Things, which is a spin-off of that book as well by Bob Proctor.
Yep.
Same idea that what you think is what brings it into your life. So I'm really glad we're having this conversation, because I personally can empathize with where you're coming from. And anybody watching this video, what Matthew's talking about is real. He can genuinely help you by thinking differently and making your life a better life in many different ways. So yeah. Matthew, tell me, what's the path moving forward for you personally in your business and your industry, the kind of strategic flow that you follow?
But I just wanted to touch back on what you just said before.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We use the word empathize, and that's a huge part of it. Is a lot of people, we need to empathize with people more, and that's truly, I mean, it's a buzzword in business now, but it's truly being able to see, hear, and understand where somebody is in life and why they got there. And once you do that, the chances are that person has never been understood. And once you gain an understanding, you create that connection between the two of you. That's where the progress happens. That's where the success comes in. So you asked me where I am moving forward with this. My goal is to quantify the change that happens within somebody, within cognitive brain states and our cognitive brain function. So in doing that, quantifying this change, we can now shorten the gap on what it takes for people to achieve their dreams and their success in business by running everything backwards to, understanding why we were brought up the way we were and how we can change that quickly. So really, I'm trying to shorten the gap as much as possible from getting people from A to B. Yeah, no, fantastic. This has been a great education, Matthew. I personally understand exactly where you're coming from. And as I say, anybody watching this video, please reach out to Matthew. He can help you because what you think is genuinely what you bring to your life, what you attract. And Matthew, what he's talking about here is the kind of thing that can help you attract better things and the right things to your life. So, Matthew, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And anybody watching the video as well, please look at Matthew's details underneath him and reach out and talk to him because he can genuinely help you move forward in life. So, thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. Thanks. And now I will hand it over to Dave for the weather. Thank you.